Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Abhirami and I am here to discuss with you about today's topic, that is portal vein part 2. So last time we discussed about formation, course and termination of the portal vein. So today we will be talking about the tributaries of the portal vein, portocaval anastomosis and the portal hypertension. So first, going to the tributaries of portal vein. Actually portal vein is the union of superior mesenteric vein and splenic vein at the level of the second lumbar vertebra behind the neck of pancreas. So this is the superior mesenteric vein and this is the splenic vein. So their union is over here, and here is where portal vein gets formed, and this is behind the neck of the pancreas at the level of the vertebra L2. Okay. So above this is portal vein, and the portal vein will go to the liver and it will divide into a right branch and a left branch. So now let's talk about the tributaries of the portal vein. Many veins drain into the portal vein. So these are left gastric vein, right gastric vein, superior pancreatico-duodenal vein, cystic vein which will drain into the right branch, and paraumbilical vein will drain into the left branch. So this is the right branch, and cystic vein will drain into the right branch, and paraumbilical vein will drain into the left branch of the portal vein. Okay, and left gastric vein will run along the lesser curvature of the stomach. So this is the left gastric vein, it will run along the lesser curvature of the stomach, and right gastric vein will anastomose with the left gastric vein. And the left gastric vein receives esophageal veins, and the right gastric vein receives prepyloric vein of Mayo. Okay, and also the portal vein also receives a vein from the superior pancreatico-duodenal vein, and the splenic vein will receive the inferior mesenteric vein. So totally there are 5 tributaries for portal vein. These are superior pancreatico-duodenal vein, and then the left gastric vein and right gastric vein which anastomose with each other, and the prepyloric vein of Mayo which drains into the right gastric vein, and then the esophageal veins which drain into the left gastric vein. So this is how the stomach is over here. The stomach will be here, and here the pancreas will be there below the stomach, and the paraumbilical vein will drain into the left branch, and the cystic vein will drain into the right branch, and the inferior mesenteric vein will drain into the splenic vein. So one of the tributaries of portal vein is paraumbilical vein. The paraumbilical vein is very important because the paraumbilical vein will run along the falciform ligament and also along the ligamentum teres, and then around the region of umbilicus it will anastomose with the veins of the anterior abdominal wall to form a site of portocaval anastomosis. So paraumbilical vein is very important, and the paraumbilical vein will drain into the left branch. Okay, so the paraumbilical will drain into the left branch, and cystic vein will drain into the right branch. So now let's talk about the portocaval anastomosis. The portocaval anastomosis, it is also called as the portosystemic anastomosis, and through this anastomosis the portal blood will communicate with the systemic blood. So some of the sites of portosystemic anastomosis are given here. So first, in the lower end of the esophagus, the left gastric vein and is the portal vein, and esophageal vein is the systemic vein. So in the lower end of esophagus, some esophageal veins are there, and some esophageal veins will drain into the left gastric vein which is a tributary of the portal vein, and some esophageal veins will drain into hemiazygos vein which will further drain into vena azygos, and this will drain into the systemic circulation. Okay, inferior vena cava, it will drain into the inferior vena cava. So next position is the lower end of the rectum. The lower end of the rectum has a portal vein which is the superior rectal vein, and the inferior rectal vein and the middle rectal vein will form a part of the systemic vein. So the inferior rectal vein and the middle rectal vein will drain into inferior vena cava, and superior rectal vein will drain into inferior mesenteric vein. As you know, inferior mesenteric vein is a branch of the splenic vein, and the splenic vein forms a union with the superior mesenteric vein at the level of the second lumbar vertebra, beneath the neck of the pancreas to form the portal vein. So superior rectal vein will form inferior mesenteric vein, which will drain into the splenic vein. Next comes the posterior abdominal wall. So the portal vein of posterior abdominal wall is splenic vein, and the systemic vein is left renal vein. So in the posterior abdominal wall, there is a communication between the spleen and the kidney. So the splenic vein will form the portal part, and the left renal vein will form the systemic part. Next, going to the bare area of the liver. The bare area of the liver, the portal vein here is the portal radicle, and the systemic vein here is the diaphragmatic vein. This is because the diaphragm covers the liver, so diaphragmatic veins will anastomose with the portal radicle in the bare area of the liver to form a site of portocaval anastomosis. And then comes the falciform ligament. As I already told you, the paraumbilical veins will run in the falciform ligament, and they will anastomose with diaphragmatic veins to form a site of portocaval anastomosis. Next comes the ligamentum venosum. Ligamentum venosum or ductus venosus is actually, it will have a portal part, that is the left branch of portal vein, and the systemic part is inferior vena cava. So it directly connects the left branch of the portal vein to the inferior vena cava. And lastly, it is the umbilicus, and as I already told you, it is a paraumbilical vein which forms the portal part of this region, and the veins of the anterior abdominal wall will anastomose with the paraumbilical veins to form the site of portocaval anastomosis. The veins of the anterior abdominal wall are, from the above, it is the superior epigastric vein and lateral thoracic vein. From the below, it is the superficial epigastric vein and inferior epigastric vein, and from the sides, it is the lumbar veins and the posterior intercostal veins. Okay, so from the above, it is the superior epigastric and lateral thoracic. From the below, it is the superficial epigastric and inferior epigastric. From the sides, it is the posterior intercostal and the lumbar veins. So now let's talk about the clinical anatomy related to the portal vein. So the clinical anatomy related to portal vein is portal hypertension. So normally the portal pressure is 5 to 15 mmHg, but when the portal pressure rises above 40 mmHg, then this leads to portal hypertension. So the portal pressure is measured by a splenic puncture and measuring the intrasplenic pressure. Now the reasons for portal hypertension are cirrhosis of liver, and then Banti's disease, and thrombosis of the portal vein. There are three reasons for portal hypertension. It can be cirrhosis of liver, Banti's disease, and thrombosis of portal vein. So some symptoms of the portal hypertension are the caput medusae, ascites, splenomegaly, hemorrhoids, and formation of esophageal varices. So what happens is, due to portal hypertension, there is a backflow of blood, and because of this, at the lower end of the esophagus, it is a site of portosystemic anastomosis, and there the esophageal varices are formed, and after some time the esophageal varices will rupture, causing hematemesis or vomiting of blood. And also the anal canal is also a site of portosystemic anastomosis. So this leads to formation of dark colored stools, or this is called melena or hemorrhoids. And during cirrhosis of the liver or during portal hypertension, an operation can be done which is called the shunt operation, and this will directly connect either the splenic vein or superior mesenteric vein or portal vein to the inferior vena cava or the left renal vein. So this way the blood is passed directly to the inferior vena cava, and but during this time, since the blood flow in the portal vein is very slow, that's why it's called the streamlined blood flow. Since the blood flow is very slow, the blood from the small intestine, which has toxins, will move into the superior mesenteric vein, which will go into the right branch of the portal vein and drain into the right lobe of the liver. So the toxins will drain into the right lobe of the liver, and this will cause right lobe abscess. Okay, it will cause abscess of the right lobe of the liver. And the small intestine also has some blood which doesn't have nutrients like amino acids, so that blood will go through the splenic vein and it will enter the left branch of the portal vein, and it will enter the left lobe of the liver. In the left lobe of the liver, it will cause cirrhosis or fibrosis. Thank you. That is all for today's video. So I have some questions for you. If you know the answers, please say it in the comments. So is inferior mesenteric vein accompanied by its artery or not? That is your question. And where does the inferior mesenteric vein drain into? So these are your questions. Please answer them in the comments. Thank you. Thank you for listening to this video. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe and comment on them. Thank you.